The real minimum wage, let's be honest, is not $7.25, it's $0 an hour.
You are clearly, an evangelist when it comes to not paying workers fairly.
My question to you is it the position of the Commonwealth Foundation that we shouldn't have a minimum wage at all?
Yeah, I would say there really is not a role here for the government to have a wage mandate. So yes, I would advocate for if we're going to do something, there are different tier minimum wages that we can do, but we see that the costs they outweigh the benefits.
So it is the position of the Commonwealth Foundation that we should not have a minimum wage.
Yeah, we think the minimum wage is harmful and an unnecessary policy.
I want to thank you first of all for your honesty, that your official position is that there should be no minimum wage. And so, if it's $1 an hour, sure, fine by the Commonwealth Foundation, fine by you. You are clearly, an evangelist when it comes to not paying workers fairly. So I want to ask you this morning, how much do you make a year, Ms. Stell?
Excuse me one second. Representative Kenyatta, let's keep the conversation focused on minimum wage.
Mr. Chairman, this is exactly about the minimum wage.
Please be courteous to the testifiers. You can ask questions, but please be polite, be courteous.
I think my question is perfectly polite, Mr. Chairman. We're talking about this morning the wages that Pennsylvanians make. Ms. Stell is a Pennsylvanian who works at the Commonwealth Foundation, which is across the street from our state capitol, and she is sitting here arguing that she is perfectly fine with folks making $15,000 a year. And so my question is, based on her personal experience, does she survive off of $15,000 a year? Do you make more than $15,000 a year, Ms. Stell?
I do not feel that I need to justify.
So I'll take that as a yes. My next question, I'll take that as a yes, Ms. Stell. Thank you. I'll just take it as a yes. Thank you. Going and looking at GuideStar, I could see that your CEO made $290,000 a year. Ms. Stell, should he make less?
Hold on. Representative Kenyatta.
Mr. Chairman, nobody else was interrupted.
Representative Kenyatta, you're comparing college graduates with 20 or 30 years of working experience with a high school kid working at a fast food restaurant.
Mr. Okay? Mr. Chairman, your description of who minimum wage workers is completely inaccurate. And there are college graduates in my district who are working 2 and 3 jobs. And so that mischaracterization, if that is the reason you're interrupting my questioning, I think is inappropriate. My question is, if she thinks that $15 is too much, should her CEO make less than the $290,000 that he makes a year? Would that be good for the economy based on her policy experience?
Well, first of all, I would say that personally speaking, at one point in my life, I did make the minimum wage, and I think we live in a country where you're rewarded for what you bring to the table, and so the real minimum wage, let's be honest, is not $7.25; it's $0 an hour, because if you don't think an individual is going to bring that much value as an employee, you won't hire them.
I'm sorry, Ms. Stell, that you don't think hardworking people in my district bring anything to the table. I find that deeply disrespectful.
Really
Mr. Chairman, I find the comments that the testifier is making deeply disrespectful and disparaging.
Mr. Kenyatta.
Mr. Chairman.
No, Mr. Kenyatta.
Thank you.
You can't talk over the testifier. We're going to move on to the next questioner, which is
Mr. Chairman, I was not talking over the testifier. You were talking over me. I asked a series of
Representative.
Mr. Chairman, I asked just 2 yes or no questions, and that's all I'm asking for.
I would ask
a yes or a no, Mr. Chairman.
I would ask all members, please be courteous and polite with our testifiers. Don't overtalk people, and don't bring up issues that have nothing to do with what the topic is today.
Mr. Chairman, my only question was about wages, and I was routinely interrupted,
Kenyatta,
Mr. Chairman,
you're
by
not,
you.
Mr. Kenyatta, you're not recognized right now. who is recognized.
Yeah, because I'm bringing up something that
Chairman,
you don't
can I
want to bring
just-
up. We have a panel here with no workers, and I'm asking questions of the person you brought to testify.
Okay, Representative.
It's fine. It's fine.
Representative
I
Galloway.
yield
Hold
back.
on,
I yield back, Mr. Chairman. It's fine. Go ahead.
Raising the minimum wage allows Pennsylvanians to work their way out of poverty. It saves tax dollars. It helps local communities. No one who works hard in Pennsylvania should be living in poverty, period. I'm pleased that the Biden administration also sees the importance of ensuring that workers earn a living wage. But Pennsylvania cannot wait for the federal government to act. We have a responsibility right here to the workers right here in Pennsylvania. And we must act now, right here in Pennsylvania, to raise our minimum wage. Raising the minimum wage will help workers. It will bring more money into local businesses. It will stimulate our economy. But most importantly, it is the right thing to do.